Hey guys, Sean Ross Sapp of Wrestling Inc. here. I recently interviewed TNA World Heavyweight Champion Matt Hardy ahead of this Tuesday's lockdown. Unfortunately, we had some connection issues that plagued our interview, and we still wanted to bring it to you. So we produced this edited version that was kind of condensed, had some of the connection issues removed. You'll notice a couple of them, I'm sure. But if you want to read the full interview, which is really good, go over to WrestlingInc.com and check it out. It's Matt Hardy talking about a ton of topics, Big Money Matt in all of his glory. But yeah, head over to WrestlingInc.com, check it out. But I still hope you all enjoy this edited version of my interview with Matt Hardy. What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp of the Wrestling Inc. podcast here, and I have a very special guest, TNA World Heavyweight Champion Matt Hardy. Matt, how are you doing?
Please reintroduce me if you want this interview to happen.
Indeed. I guess I have to. The TNA World Champion, the iconic Matt Hardy. Matt, was that good enough, and how are you doing today?
That is acceptable. I'm doing great. Every day is great when your name's Matt Hardy.
Do you play the piano, Matt?
I play a little bit. My wife plays amazingly. My wife is an incredible piano player. I don't think there's anything that my wife can't do in all actuality.
Well, it's a beautiful house. It's a beautiful home. It's the type of thing I've only seen in pictures. And we see the TNA World Heavyweight title, but I got to get right down to it, Matt. Everybody's been asking why. I saw you on video calling your what used to be your fans internet nobodies. These are the same people that stood by you after that controversial WWE release in 2005. You've done a complete 180. Well, what gives, Matt?
So when I came to TNA, they rallied behind a monster like EC3, you know, and then the kind of the criticism I got because I was older, or because I worked differently, or because I didn't have 8 abs at all times was absolutely was. I wish I would have done this 10 years ago. I would have went much further, much faster, because now the only thing that matters to me is the TNA World Heavyweight title, my bank accounts, my family, and those that I love that are close to me and support me.
Now, I mean, you mentioned the rude, the mean tweets that you would get. How did that feel? You seem to let it roll off your shoulder now. Was that always the case, or did it take your wife letting you know, to giving you that confidence to make it happen?
I mean, I have always received mean tweets. When you're as successful and as famous and as wealthy and as great and as iconic and as stellar and as immaculate as Matt Hardy is, people are going to hate you. They're jealous. The only way they can express that emotion they have is to hate you. So they tweet me filth. You know, but back in the day when I had feelings, I had emotions too. I mean, I did an anti-bullying video in Ring of Honor because it bothered me. I was being bullied so bad by Kevin Steen.
Well, I'll give an example of some of these mean tweets that you've gotten. I found one here from 2010. This was right around the time that TNA had changed the structure of their ring. And it says, "What happened to the other two sides of TNA's ring? Matt Hardy ate them." What do you have to say about something like that, Matt?
Oh, that's hilarious. And you know who tweeted that? Some big fat lard ass who won't post a public picture of themselves as their Twitter photo or their Twitter header behind the keyboard. Oh, here's the great Matt Hardy. I'll make fun of him because I really am insecure with myself.
Have you and your brother kept in touch? You all had this falling out. You all have had falling outs before. Have you spoken to your brother since this happened?
I sent him some flowers to the hospital after he was injured by Eric Young. I contacted him and sent some flowers, and I hope he feels better, and I hope he's able to walk normally. But he had a good run while it lasted. He had an amazing run. And I supported him when he was the heavyweight champion and on top, and I just feel like it was very selfish of him not to support me.
Speaking of Eric Young, is there any chance that we'll see you on one of his hunting shows, or is that a little too far out of your demographic per se?
I just actually go to the steakhouse and order the finest cut of filet. That's all that Matt Hardy does.
Okay. You have a huge match Tuesday, Lockdown. Tell me, explain what goes through the mind of a Matt Hardy as you prepare to be locked in a cage with EC3.
They're all against me, Sean. It's a hashtag Hardygate going on. And he almost shut TNA down. He almost put Impact Wrestling out of business. He personally tried to destroy me and Dixie. And Dixie asked me to relinquish the title. Why? Who cares? I should have just came home with the title then. It should have been sitting on my wife's piano for months and months and months. Who cares about Impact Wrestling? They haven't done me any favors. I'm not going to file an injunction. I'm a fighting champion. And now they're putting him in a cage against me where they want to keep Tyrus out. And they want to keep my wife out. And they want to keep Maxwell out.
How did Tyrus go about joining you? Did you approach him or did he approach you?
I'll be honest. I went to Tyrus. How about I'm willing to say double whatever EC3 is paying you, and you make sure that I win that match, the last man standing. I'm putting my career on the line. And I feel like this is an ultimate chess move. I knew I had the move to put him in checkmate, and it worked. But let me tell you this, Sean. Whenever I asked Tyrus to take double what EC3 was paying him, he took much, much less. And all Tyrus wants to be is loved. That's all he wants to be, is loved and cared about. He's a big teddy bear. And the thing about it is, like, I know Spud is going to be trying to cheat. He's going to be trying to level the playing field for EC3. I will find a way. If there's a will, there's a way. And I promise you, I am going to go into this match, and I am going to beat EC3 again. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be the match I'm going to pin his ass. So these little internet nobodies can finally shut up. He's going to be beaten again, and he's going to be pinned.
Yes, still, EC3 has not been pinned. He has not been submitted. That would be a major feather in your cap. Something I wanted to ask you, we've seen a big turnover in the TNA roster. Mike Bennett, Maria, Trevor Lee, Rosemary, Raquel, people like that have shown up. Meanwhile, a guy like Austin Aries leaves. What do you think of this turnover? What do you make of it, of this evolving roster of TNA?
Is the evolving wrestling roster always. I mean, a wrestling roster can't stay the same. It has to change. And I think Mike Bennett one day is going to be the world champion, maybe 4 or 5 years down the road whenever I decide to retire.
So with your recent attitude, Matt, I'm kind of surprised that you didn't just simply say that TNA was freeing up money for you. But it's good to know that you do have a level head.
I'm very level-headed, and I'm very business-minded. And I know if you saw my check, Sean, you would probably shit your pants. Huge. So they have me covered. But I have to build a bunch of great soldiers to fight underneath me in the army.
Now, what we heard some rumors recently about maybe your contract status, maybe that it was coming up soon. What is your contract status with TNA? Are you about to hit a renegotiation period? And what does that mean for you and the company?
I am. I'm in the midst of now. And if you thought my prior contract was big, my next one is going to be huge.
And is there any chance of a WWE return? Can they afford you?
TNA, they have really they have sold the farm to try and keep Matt Hardy on board. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to happen because they have to meet my demands. I'm the champion, and I am the heart and soul of Impact Wrestling right now. I am the most important part of Impact Wrestling by far. No one is even close. And I don't know who it's going to be 4 or 5 years down the road, whether it's EC3 or Mike Bennett, when someone else is becoming the champion. Once I step away, and move into my next phase after I move out of in-ring competition. But right now, my future is Impact Wrestling.
Also, a pretty big moment. Daniel Bryan retired recently in his mid-30s. What were your feelings on something like that? Because you've been at it for a long time. You've taken a lot of damage. You've put your body through a lot. How did it feel to see a guy like that have to retire at such a young age?
I love Daniel Bryan. I think he's a great human being. I think he's an amazing athlete. The biggest thing I regret is that he did have to retire because I wanted to beat him. He was one of the guys I never got to wrestle him, so I wanted to beat him before it was all said and done. Guess that's not going to happen. But, bless his heart, it happens. There's injuries, especially when people are just human. I'm a little more than human. So, I'm a little bit of an exception. I'm an anomaly in this business. So it was very unfortunate he had to go. He was at the top of his game, and he'd done some amazing – just one of those things that comes along with sports entertainers. Most of them are human, and most of them will break at some point.
So we saw a longtime TNA star and AJ Styles debut with WWE. How did you feel about that? He's another guy that had kind of done it all in TNA. What did you make of his move to WWE?
Basically, someone like AJ Styles, he's at a point in his career where he needs to do the same thing. He needs to stop giving and start taking. And apparently he was able and willing to take the WWE's off, and that was best for him and his family. So I can't hate on the guy for doing that. He's doing the same thing I've done. He's copying my lead. So how could I hate on a guy that's copying my lead?
Now, we'll close this interview with a little bit of word association, if you're fine with that. I'll throw out some names, and you give me maybe the first word that comes to your head when you think of these people. Is that okay?
Sure.
Dixie Carter.
Conspiracy.
Okay. EC3.
Serial asshole.
Norv Furnham.
Stepping stone.
Gangrel.
Vampire.
Michael Hayes.
Insane.
Jimmy Jam Garvin.
Great promo.
Ronnie Garvin.
Stone. Hands of.
Tigre Uno.
Luchador. Flip out.
Don West.
Muppet.
And we'll close with Jeff Hardy.
Selfish.
Well, Matt, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to join us. I apologize for our standalone, our connection. I know it was an inconvenience to you, but good luck in defending your TNA World Heavyweight title this Tuesday at TNA Lockdown on Pop TV. We encourage all of our viewers, listeners, and readers to check it out. Anything you want to let them know before you go?
Yeah, you should thank me, and you should apologize. And yes, you should check out Lockdown this Tuesday, because I am going to whip EC3's ass. I'm going to defy the odds. And you're going to see that Matt Hardy is stronger than death, and he is going to destroy the ass-kicking machine. And I am going to retain my TNA World Heavyweight title. I want you to know how blessed and how gifted you are right now. I mean, you have had a few minutes to share my essence, to sit underneath my learning tree. And so few people get an opportunity to do this. I mean, I get in elevators with people all the time, and they just look at me, and you can see that gleam in their eye. They know they're in an elevator with someone special. And, I'm only with them for 7 or 8 seconds, but it's the most important 7 or 8 seconds of their life. And you've got to share minutes with me here. So I just want you to remember that.